Hi everybody, my name is Danielle Nicole and welcome to Monetary Makeup. I am coming at you guys today with another foundation review from Revolution. So this is the IRL, or In Real Life, Filter Long Wear Breathable Soft Matte Foundation. Now I don't know about you guys, but I have accrued quite the collection of skin tints that have a dewy finish, so I am really excited to test out a lightweight matte foundation. So we'll be doing swatches. Aw, I love you. I love you so much. And we'll be doing swatches, a demo, as well as a wear test today. And while I test out this IRL filter foundation, the topic of the day is going to be what is my 2-2-2 rule regarding finances. So if you're excited to get started and enjoy the video while you're watching, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and let's get started right now. Before I get started with swatches, I just want to share a little bit about this product with you. So this is called the IRL, which stands for In Real Life Filter Longwear Breathable Soft Matte Foundation. I picked up the shade F3, and this foundation claims to be oil-free, breathable, have a soft matte finish, and it claims to have a 16-hour wear. Now you get 0.7 fluid ounces or 23 mils. I don't know about you guys, but all of that sounds good to me. Now as far as the packaging goes, I definitely appreciate that it has a pump and not a doe foot applicator or a squeezy tube like many. And it's definitely sturdy plastic, I'm guessing, or possibly acrylic. So yeah, just a fan of the overall packaging of this. All right, so it is swatch time. So first up is the KVD Good Apple in the shade Light 010. Next up is the Kosas Revealer in the shade Very Light Cool 120. And the final swatch is the IRL foundation in the shade F3. Now in case you're new, I'm in my mid-30s and I have oily, dehydrated, acne-prone skin, and I'm also starting to get fine lines. My skin has already been moisturized, and what I'm going to use as a primer today is actually a serum from e.l.f. So this is called their Glow Up Primer Serum. Even though it's marketed as a primer, I do find it's more of just a hydrating serum. So I'm going to use 2 pumps here. I really like this primer serum because it has a very hydrating feeling, but without feeling oily. And I don't find it affects the wear time or the texture or finishes of any of my base products. All right, well, based on those swatches, I do feel like F3 is going to be a great summer shade for me. Might be just a hair too deep right now, but I think it'll be perfect for the summer. Now, in my experience, I've actually used quite a few Makeup Revolution or Revolution foundations and concealers, and I'm actually quite happy with their base products. I know they get quite a bit of hate, but I do think that's more based on their eyeshadow formula. I personally am not a fan of their shadows in the slightest. However, I am a fan of their base products in general. So I just pumped out about 1/4 of a pump. I personally like to work in small sections. Now it's interesting because it came out almost like a moussey whip texture. It does have a little bit of runniness to it, but as soon as I pumped that out, it instantly reminded me of the Tarte Cloud Coverage Foundation. Now I'm actually a big fan of this foundation and love the consistency, so really curious to see how it compares. Now most of the Revolution foundations that I have tried, including their concealers, most of them do have a little bit of a scent to them. It doesn't necessarily smell like a heavy fragrance. I would say it's almost like a fresh makeup-y scent, if that makes sense. It's certainly not strong and it does dissipate, but it is scented a little bit. So let's start off with my Shot Miss A sponge. This is my favorite way of applying foundations. Oh yeah, F3 does seem like it's going to be a great shade match. I personally like the scent of these. I know not everyone enjoys fragrance in their complexion products, but just smells really fresh and nice to me. I don't know, I like it. And I do have quite a bit of breakouts and redness on my skin. I just applied a little bit right here, nothing on this side. This is blending out very quick and seamlessly. It does appear to have a soft matte finish, just like the claims say. My daughter just told me that our neighbors have chickens and they're running around in our backyard, I guess. So I'm not going to build this up a ton. I do feel like it has a true medium coverage, so I don't think I'll have to do a ton of building up, but just a little bit in the center and around my breakouts. Wow, you guys, I feel like this is looking so smooth and blurred, and I feel like it did a great job at covering up my breakouts around my chin. What do you guys think? I have to say, I have pretty high expectations for this foundation. As I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of their base products. I do feel like they really nail cool undertones as well, which are really difficult to find. So overall, I would say the skin definitely looks like it has a faux filter, as they say. I feel like my pores look blurred, but it doesn't look cakey or makeupy at all. So I still have a little bit left on the back of my hand. So I would say I use probably 2/3 of a pump or so not quite a full pump. This is what my skin is looking like. I always like to show you guys up close, no filters. I have breakouts and pores just like everyone else. So what do you guys think about this close-up? I feel like it looks really nice. What do you guys think? So yeah, you guys, so far I would agree with the claims with it being a soft matte finish. I feel like the skin looks very smooth and blurred. Now, the interesting thing is I usually can tell if foundations are going to wear well or not by my dehydration around my nose area and also how they look over my breakouts. Now, because this is a matte finish, even though it's a soft matte, I was expecting it to really cling to my breakouts and my dehydration, but it's not. Overall, I think it looks great. All right, I am really excited. If this foundation wears well, I'm just saying it looks really great right now in real life. So next I'd like to go in with just a little bit of concealer. So I'm going to use one of my favorite concealers. This is also an affordable or drugstore option. This is the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer, so hopefully it'll pair well together. Now I can actually get away with both the shade light and fair. I would say the shade light is almost a perfect match for my skin, but for the under eyes, I prefer the shade fair. So that's what I'm going to go in with today. So if you guys follow me, you know I go in with a very minimal product. We're over 30 on this channel, so less is definitely more at times. I don't know about you guys, but I personally like to tap on my concealer. I feel like if I go in with a brush and do a ton of tugging, it just kind of moves the product around. And then I always take just a little bit of concealer on my cheeks right here because I have this stripe of pink that always comes through. So I'm not adding a ton. I barely had anything on my brush, but just need a little bit right here. It's always such an exciting feeling when you try a new makeup product and it looks incredible right off the bat. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup. Just wanted to give you one last shot of what it looks like with just the base products on. So I will see you guys in just a minute. All right, you guys, well, I just finished up the rest of my makeup and just wanted to show you what the skin is looking like. This Revolution IRL Filter Foundation, it is looking great. So it really does have a nice soft matte finish. You know how some matte foundations, I always say, can suck the life out of your skin and really emphasize your dry patches? This is not doing that. I just think overall my skin looks very radiant, and even though it's a matte finish, I think it looks really nice. All right, well, let me know what you guys think about how the skin is looking right now. I'm going to see you in just a second for the topic of the day, and then I will meet you back here at the end of the night for my final thoughts and the wear test. Hi everybody, welcome to the topic of the day. So my quick finance tip for you all today is what I call the 2-2-2 rule. So this is basically a 3-part system. So first, I recommend opening up 2 savings accounts if you don't have one already. Part of the reason is, I don't know if any of you have ever been in this situation, but typically when you open up one savings account, you end up dipping into it in case of an emergency or if you just need to access those funds. So when you open up 2 savings accounts, what typically ends up happening is you have one savings account for emergencies and then one for saving for retirement. And by having 2 savings accounts, basically incentivizes you to keep one for retirement and then use the other account for emergencies. Now, the second part to this tip is what I call the 1/2 rule. Now, the second part to the 2-2-2 rule is to take whatever designated amount you have for savings and to cut that amount in half. And then put half of the amount into your savings account and the other half into an investment or retirement account. So this tip is really helpful for folks who don't have a savings or a retirement account, because a lot of the times it can be a little bit daunting to get into a savings as well as a retirement account all at once. But what I recommend doing is setting a budget. Let's just use $100 for an example to keep it easy. So instead of stashing away that $100 into only a savings account or only an investment account, assuming you don't have either or you're recently new to savings and investing, then I would cut that amount in half and put $50 in the savings and $50 into the investment. So it's almost like a mindset as well, because some might look at it like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to put enough money into both accounts. But as long as you set a budget for whatever you're able to set aside, it doesn't matter if it's $2, $200, or $2,000. But the point is, it gets you into the habit of saving money and investing money for your retirement. And then the last part to this 2-2-2 rule is what I call forget about the change. So nowadays, with banking being automatic, it's very convenient, of course, but what if you were to, for every single transaction or purchase, round up to the nearest dollar and not even see that extra change? Well, a lot of folks wouldn't even really realize that change was gone, and what you can do is actually download specific apps that automatically do this for you. So there are 2 different apps that I recommend. The first one is called Acorns, and basically what it does is exactly what I just described. So let's say you made a purchase for $10.50. It would take the 50 cents and round up to $11 and automatically transfer that money into an investment account. And specifically with Acorns, they typically use ETFs. Now it's all automatic and very new user friendly, so you don't have to do a lot of allocating. Most of it is done automatically. Now, if any of you are a Bank of America bankers, then they actually have their own app called Keep the Change. So both of these apps work very similarly. All they do is round up for every purchase and automatically move that change into an account for you. So if you already bank with Bank of America, then Keep the Change might be an option you want to look into. But if you don't bank with Bank of America, then perhaps Acorns would be the option you would want to consider. And the great thing about these apps, or simply moving the change into an investment account, is that more often than not, you won't even realize that it's gone. And you might wonder, well, is really putting 50 cents or 10 cents or 20 cents here and there even worth it? But at the end of the day, having something for your future for retirement is absolutely better than nothing. As always, if you do have any questions or if you are interested in any of the tips or apps I recommended today, I do highly recommend reaching out to your own financial advisor, because everyone's situation is different and all of our goals are unique. So hopefully learning about the 2-2-2 rule is helpful for you all. Next, I will see you back here at the end of the night for my final thoughts in the wear test. Hi everybody, I just got home from work and my makeup has been on now for a full 10 hours. All right, let me come in a little bit closer, that way you can see what my skin is looking like. Oh, and before I forget, I did end up going in with setting powder. I used the Wet n Wild Bare Focus powder, and I do have to say, which I'll get into this in a second here, but I do prefer the look of this foundation on its own. Not that the powder did anything terrible, but I just think the foundation does a great job on its own. All right, so here's what my skin is looking like. All right, so here's the deal with this IRL Filter Revolution foundation. You guys, I am surprised. This looks so good at the end of the day. I am shocked. So first of all, I think part of the reason this is such a good foundation is because it has that moussey, almost whipped texture. Now it still has a little bit of runniness to it, but I think the reason I like it so much is because it reminds me of the Shape Tape Cloud foundation. So it definitely helped to control my oils. It did not make me a dry desert Sahara mess. It didn't sink into any of my fine lines. It smoothed all of my pores. And overall, you guys, I just love the finish of this. And it definitely helps that they have my perfect shade match, which again was F3. So if you were thinking about picking up this IRL foundation, I would definitely recommend giving it a shot. So now I want to hear from all of you guys down below. Have you picked up this foundation? And if you have and tested it out, let us know what your skin type is. Let us know all your thoughts down below. All right, you guys, well, I do hope the topic of the day was helpful, as well as the review and wear test. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, guys.